Dude, I love that. I could listen to that all night.
It was so good.
What's up, guys? Welcome. What are we calling this, Kev? You should be doing the
It's the
introduction.
recap show, trademark.
Hashtag recap show.
Patent pending.
PHISH show after
No.
show. I thought I like the repetitiveness of it. PHISH show after show, where we talk about the show.
Right.
And it's a
Brought
hell
to you
of a
by
show.
Lenny Duncan.
Oh, TM.
First on the scene.
Trademark
First on
that
the
shit
scene.
though. You got to trademark that shit right there. I'm sorry, man. Shit's tough for tough for black people. Yeah, trade. As soon as you say my name, it's automatically trademarked. We worked on that. All I had to do was basically submit my soul to an ice cream demon, and it wasn't that hard. And I'm super.
I mean, as
into
far
it.
as ice cream
And I
demons
lo-
go, they're pretty much the best.
I mean, they're like, hey, we're gonna hold you down and just touch you all over. You're like, well, it's really cold but tasty.
Is that like from Scooby Doo? The ice cream demons from Scooby Doo?
The ice
So that
cream
was a-
demons from Scooby-Doo.
That was
You don't
one
remember
hell of
that
a
episode of
show.
Scooby Doo where they went into the ice cream factory and there was a chocolate, a vanilla, and a
No,
strawberry?
I wasn't alive in
mousse?
the '60s, man. What the fuck? No, I don't remember.
We're already getting this notebook out. Boomer Kevin takes. All right. Already getting that out.
Classic. It's a classic episode.
No. Listen. Thank you for having me on the show. It's an honor to kick off the fucking spring tour. I know you guys actually take this shit seriously, and I'm someone who flies in about a couple weeks a year and talks a lot of shit.
We take it serious.
I don't know how
you
seriously
know-
we take it.
Well, I tell you
Well,
what,
I
the band was taking it seriously with fucking Twist out of the gate.
Boom.
Oh, strong take from the gate. I think that twist was all right. For me, it was Haley's. Haley's always gets my and I won't tell you what bits I have, but they stand up
Yeah.
when I hear Haley's. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, woo! And I was out here singing, and there's like, I live in this like semi-intentional community with a bunch of like super white, crunchy people who think they're cool. So I come out and like it's like I'm dancing out there and I'm like talking to a 5-year-old, singing them like, this song's about a comment, and the kids
Yeah,
just
my
like,
kid said,
yeah,
"Not
and the
this
parents like, we
song
gotta go
again."
inside.
So
So
I think you're both right,
Haley's
though,
does it for
because
me though. This is the whole point of that story.
Twist was a very strong open, I felt, and Haley's did step it up. And I think we actually finally got what I was talking about at MSG wanting was that 1, 2, 3 of, the crescendo, because then the Sand really peaked out of that trifecta, having the Twist, Haley, Sand kept that
first
energy.
You know
nod-
why?
First nod to the poor kids in Texas was that Sand, I think. It has the line about the gunshot and gauze and all,
Huh.
Whoa.
Huh.
I don't know, but it was a really crazy jam, though.
Here's
Yeah,
what I'll say. I'll say Sand set the theme for which is a very typical theme for like, wiping off the rust from fucking New Year's and like Mexico, and then Trey, like, you know what I mean? Hanging out outside Vampire Weekend's fucking tour bus for 3 weeks or whatever. But like my point is,
That's awesome.
hey, what? I'm just saying.
That was Llama.
But my point is, it's like it was really like a whole lot of you're not playing with fucking Tab tonight.
No.
And so you really kind of see, like, especially when like Paige comes over, makes a change, right? And then and really it's Mike's bass drop. If you go back and listen, at least for me, that's what made me go. Brr! I was like, oh, here we go, right? It was like, and like really, Mike was like, because like really that Haley's was still kind of floating, right? And Mike was like, fuck that Haley's.
How do you? If I was Mike, I'd be like, "Fuck on boo ba boo doo doo" for fucking 10 minutes or whatever he does. I'd be like, "Fuck
10
on
minutes of that."
song.
Yeah, I mean, it was
No,
getting
but
a little
I think
bit like.
I think he likes that though, because it gives him room to play with and get funky with it, because it sets a very simple, recognizable like bass line. But then after it goes into it for a while, he starts like pluck it a little bit
Yeah.
and shift with it and give a little skank to it, like in the jam, which I think is
Right,
cool,
but
right?
also when he's tired of it, he starts doing things like he was doing for like 2 minutes there, where he's like, he's just
All
sort
over
of
the
floating
place.
around a few things and not really take it off anymore. I don't
Jen
know.
was not
I just think a
happy with
rhythm
the
section
Haley.
always sets the tone for me. Maybe that's just being raised on Phil tour and the little bit of Grateful Dead I caught before that. I'm always listening to the bass, and it just seemed like in that moment, Mike was like, "You're a fish tonight." It's just like, yeah, you're a fucking fish tonight. Even though I stand tab over fish most of the time. If you
I was gonna
if
say, are you
stack
shouting
up-
out Dez right now? Is that
a big shout out to Dez, but friend of the show, and the show is Blackberry Jams, and we will be back to fucking haunt you.
Oh, yeah.
This time we're coming for all of rock and roll. I'll talk about that another day. But my whole thing is pound for pound for me, someone who lives on the West Coast and has to fly in for quick little runs, I just feel like I get more out of a tab run, and I love fish. I love fish. Living on the West Coast has ruined me. Let's put that on the table. You know what I mean? I eat
You guys had a
3,000
dope-
milligrams of edibles a day. I don't think I felt anything in 2 weeks. I mean, this is a bad place for bad people.
Yeah, but
So-
you guys did have a dope fall tour, so I get you definitely don't get the same quantity, but the quality that you've gotten out on the West Coast has been top notch.
Or at least the
Top
last tour
notch.
it was.
Eugene was great. A lot of those shows were great. The Gorge was great. Earlier.
Shoreline has become legendary.
Yeah, Shoreline
Yeah.
is. Shoreline's always legendary. Phil's gonna do something there in a week with him, 4 kids, and I don't know whatever the fuck it is. I'm going.
The monument to Bill Graham.
Mhm.
Shoreline Amphitheater. So then we went into a bluegrass tune. Mike was surprised when Trey called out the Old Home Place, but I love the Old Home Place. What do you think, fam?
Yeah, no, that it was a great transition from Sand and what the craziness that had happened the 3 songs before. And Mike's face is hilarious because he's completely shocked that Trey has said that we're going to play this song, and then he proceeds to flub the words, which didn't seem to be a surprise if you caught that little glance that Mike gave, which was literally like, oh shit, Old Home Place. Okay, right. I remember that one, sort of. And so, but then, yeah, you get the Martian Monster, which I really liked Mike's tone. One of the things that I've noticed when we've been on a Mike fluffing, brigade here, but I don't think we don't have to stop that.
No, please
but
don't. I love it.
No, it's always good. I really liked his tone tonight, and I noticed him kind of taken back over the bottom a little bit. There were times, especially in this Martian Monster, a couple different times throughout some of the jams later on in the second set, where he hits a little this froggy kind of really deep sound, and I'm like, oh, is that Trey kind of bass sound again? But it wasn't. It was Mike this time. I was like,
He's
I was
reclaiming it. He's taking back his territory because last year
Boom.
Trey kind of worked his way in, right? He started dropping the octave and fucking over Mike's space, and I think Mike thought about it. It came back. He's like, nope, not this time.
Territorial, man.
Well, and I'll also say that Martian Monster, I mean, it talk about a song that's evolved, right? Talk about a song that I don't know, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, this song fucks. But everyone else was like, I mean, it was cool. I mean,
I like the samples.
People
I'm a
were
fan of that.
Some people were super into it, some people weren't at first, but I always fucking loved that song. And when we got it at the Man, right after that in the summer, I fucking went crazy. I always felt like that was one of the best I had ever heard, but tonight was,
and it keeps getting better.
Really
It's
good
crazy.
version.
Tonight was tight. And it's
It
got
plays
it always
well,
takes
too.
its own it plays well, and it always takes its own kind of life a little bit. It's always a little bit different, just like Fish is always versions, but it's kind of a short song that's always different. It doesn't have to go 20 minutes to have a little different theme or a different thing to it.
You know what it does do a lot of times,
don't put that in the
though.
atmosphere. Hold up, don't put that. Yes, it has to go 20 minutes. Don't put that in the fucking atmosphere.
Okay,
Well,
It has to go as long as it has to go. Don't stop it.
Martian Monster
mean.
comes
My bad.
back a lot of times when they do it because it's an easy drop. So even though it the initial version won't always be 20 minutes, they'll come back in the second set sometimes. I don't think they did it tonight, but you know what I mean with your triple
Last
short
summer they
and
did.
That
Last
Man
summer
show
they
I'm
did
talking
one that
about,
was-
they did it.
right, and
they
that's a very
perfected
cool
it.
thing.
Yes.
Sorry, Went.
No, it's all right.
Keep going, Kev. Where are we at next?
Dog Stole Things.
Bam, I'm gonna show for a second. I know you don't want to offend anybody, but I recreated the set list. So I have great notes here I can go off of.
Dog Stole Things, which is fun, right? You know.
So,
it's super fun. And no,
it doesn't go anywhere. It's it is what it is.
Who's negative now, Lenny? Dropping Dog Stole Things.
Hey, people groove on it, and I'm someone who grooves. Like, if you've ever seen me at a show or like been around me at a show, all I do is dance. And so when there's one that I'm like meh about, it doesn't kill my vibe, but I'm like, oh, that's fucking great. Everyone else is carrying the vibe. And like,
that's so benevolent. That's a great way to think of it.
A vibe that halfway to the moon.
Wait, we're just
what?
Right.
You say kill the vibe? What? Wow, you're
that
still
was my
down
song.
on this album? Let it go.
If I could get PHISH to drop a song, that was the one I chose.
Oh my God, you're one of those guys who still complains about Farmhouse. If they had only added
No, I like Farmhouse. Yes, fam.
Yeah, 20 years later,
dude.
man.
This set...
In retrospect, y'all are so hard on new music. I just don't get it. I thought that at least anything off that album had it wasn't a great album. Hey, Oso, there's like important white people here. So stop.
No, he just
listen. I mean, they're all walking
halfway to the moon here.
But I don't know. I think it's a fun tune, and I think it really gives Page a lot of room to do things that he doesn't get to do normally with the band. It's nice
color to the set list because it has a different tone and feel and energy than the rest of the set list. So it really it adds a nice, I don't know, color to the palette, right?
It sounds like the name of a bad romantic comedy.
No, I'm agreeing with you, Lenny.
Does it remind you of Three Company? Because listen, it could be the Mr. Roper of the set list. I'm into that. But like, no one knows who Mr. Roper is, but you
I know
and
who Mr. Roper is.
Yeah, no
one else knows who
I
it
think it's a really good version of Halfway to the Moon too, which tells me that it was, I think, like a 35 show, break since it's been played or gap, and so it's been a little bit, and it's a song that probably usually would not benefit from that. But what I think has happened is during at some point they had to have had a rehearsal and that was played. Because to me, there were several flubs of like Old Home Place and other songs where Halfway to the Moon was like nailed. And then at the end, really, Paige and Trey just had this nice little interplay, just bouncing off each other. That was super, super fun. And then we got to the stash, which seems to be, we've talked about, I think one thing they've done is kind of changed up maybe orders of sets, maybe at times.
Placements of songs. Where the long jam is.
But songs themselves are in pretty heavy rotation, and Stash is a pretty, solid rotational jam now.
It's a workhorse.
It's been working.
It always has, but
especially in 4.0. I mean, 21, even though it Stash didn't end up like being the best jam of the year, there were more versions of Stash that were considered. You know what I mean? Like it was
solid.
Definitely
everyone was good, which is rare.
Can we just talk about? Wait! I just want to stop out. This is just this is definitely a show culture thing. I was like, damn! I wrote down the set list. I'm fucking prepared. And you stat throwing motherfuckers here. I mean, brutal.
Sorry.
Brutal. I came in like I got a few opinions about this. Yeah, I saw your map. Charlie Kelly. Fucking, you put it away. Relax. Okay.
And I see that Stash.
We know you like the band, you fucking nerd.
No, that was a homage to another YouTuber that people watch. No, Stash was dope though. It was super dope.
Oh, now I have to investigate a joke I don't know about.
Oh, dude, this is just layers upon layers upon layers.
On it now.
But the Stashes have been so great because they've been getting that dark jam in it. It gives them a place to totally break down a little bit,
and it doesn't have a traditional backbeat to it, so it's very easy to diverge into the type 2 space, right? Because it doesn't have the it's a more flowing groove with Fish and Mike, and can really easily devolve, I think, and get into those darker and weirder spaces.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, and I think we all, the funny thing, as we were kind of talking with each other, we all kind of mentioned the transition to the end and how it really, they just nailed
Smooth.
that kind of moment from that
Butter.
really kind of evil, like bliss sound, or like evil, like ambient moment, to then just nailed the kind of back to stash. And then we get the controversial shade. We've had on the timeline beef about shade, so let's get it all out here on YouTube.
Meh.
About
Let's put it on the record.
let's put it on the
Thanks,
record.
fam.
Where are we at with shade
So
here?
who said that it reminded them of Jerry? Was that T who said
I
that?
thought that was you.
No, that was not.
Nah,
me.
you
that
said
was
that,
right.
Wet. We saw you said that. You're out there standing that
He
song all day.
compared
You
he
said
said it
that.
was- he said it
shout
was
out to my friend Meg who said I'm cute right now. They texted me. Yo, what up, Meg?
Looking cute.
He
Anyway.
said it was like Jerry standing on the moon, and I was like, come on, dude, that's a pretty.
I actually think that's a fair comparison. I actually think tone wise and theme wise. Oh, what? Oh, you're gonna stand built to last publicly, but you're not gonna stand shade. Get at it. You know what, man? I don't even know why you guys. Do you invite me just to yell at him the whole time? Is that what it's gonna be?
Yeah.
100.
No,
It's insane. That is like
He's
such an insane
masochistic.
take.
He was all
That
about it. He
That is, oh my god! Like built to last, they weren't even in the same room, bro. They never even sat in the same room. Not once.
But Jerry had that great MIDI trumpet sound.
That's true though, and I love Standing on the Moon, and I have a Foolish Heart tattoo. So I mean, get down with it.
Right.
But my
I
point
would have been
Shade
okay.
is a cute lyric. It's
a dumb
not-
lyric. No, it's a
it's a-
dumbass lyric.
It's not a
It's a
shade
dumb lyric.
I like the shade all the fucking time. I like the shade right after I cut the lawn in the summer. I like the shade when I'm stranded in the fucking desert.
That's a very indoor take. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. This is the first time I've actually been under a
Seen
roof in 3
shade.
weeks. I eat raw meat and just run with feral white children who all have dreads in the woods, and we're teaching them Antifa secrets.
feral.
No, the
Like,
problem
all
too is
just feral.
Shade didn't need to get played tonight because they already had a fuck ton of songs in there, and they already had Halfway to the Moon, you know, and I slowed it a little bit down with Old Home Place.
Nothing
I
says
feel like
1.0 as in I got too many fucking songs tonight, and I didn't need that one. Nothing says that.
Exactly. That
Nothing
makes somebody's night.
screams that.
That was
I'm
some
so grateful I
couples.
was young and I missed a bunch of that. I only caught like the last bit of it. That was like
That
my
was
claim
some
to fame. I
couples-
caught like the last little bit.
That was some couple that had just gotten back from the 4-H dance. They had requested shade. They ran into Trey at the 4-H dance, and you know they said, "Hey, can you play shade for
Somebody
us?"
ran up to Trey in the marathon and was like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna die in 2 weeks if you don't play Halfway to the Moon stash shade. I never needed you."
I proposed to
yeah.
my girl listening to Shade Trey, and we're having our first show together.
Well, and that is an interesting take too, because we were talking about how great Never Needed You Like This Before was as a set
I thought it was going to be
closer.
a set closer.
Yeah,
I thought
it should have
because
been.
I thought it moved to the set closer spot. I was like, damn, this song has fucking moved up to the point where it's the set closer. And you know, everything on that album that Trey put together, Lonely Fucking Trip or whatever. I mean, really, you want to talk about a guy who was really insulated from us in a lot of ways, had built a world basically to keep his fucking crazy fans away from him.
Yeah.
And really coming out of his show and then like gets cut off from us. You know what I mean? And like really like this I'm just saying everything off that entire album is really emotional. Everything off the album that they dropped on April Fool's Day, you know what I mean, is really fucking
Sigma
emotional.
Oasis.
100.
And I love it. I'm here for it. I'm 43 now. Let's get fucking emo. I got kids
That's
and
what I'm
shit. I'm worried
saying
about
too,
the world.
man.
Let's get emo. Let's dance.
Absolutely.
I got glitter on. I'm gonna put on tights. I'm gonna make Wentz put on tights. We're going.
I think
Hell
Sigma
yeah,
Oasis was the best album they've released since 2.0. honestly.
Absolutely.
Better than
100%.
Fuego or Joy or Big Boat.
The
Way better
seventh
than Big Boat.
Oasis. You're damn right.
Yeah.
So well, our guy Jason agrees with you. Only like shade when it's blocking the set. There you go.
I only like shade when it's black. That's actually solid right there.
That is pretty good. So then
we
yeah,
end,
but
we
so go ahead,
end
Kev.
up with gin.
Right,
A
which-
short gin, but
Yeah.
a goodie.
Like
Well,
I wrote building a
my
house of
partner's,
light, man.
6-year-old, that was his first gin, and the faces he made were like, because we're taking them to a festival, and this year, because I caught the avian flu. I was gonna start the show, but like, oh, I missed it. I was listening to Goose all night just to come in like real hot, right?
Boom, I like
Because I
it.
think it's such a silly non-debate of like, wow, we have this fucking like wealth of really good bands right now. It sucks.
You listen to Taper's Choice yet?
Same dude.
We're real big
Yeah.
on Taper's Choice lately.
Check out Taper's Choice.
Yeah,
We got
on it.
our blog's got all kinds of new bands we're
The
talking
drummer
to.
from Vampire
It's
Weekend
the drummer
is
from Eve 6.
No,
On it.
from Vampire
Kev.
Weekend, but he's apparently a big Deadhead and Fish fan and like wants to be more
Yeah.
jammy, so he started another
And
band.
he's like, him and Trey are going out now, right? They've been
Well,
like dating
yeah,
since Mexico. So,
No, I think
I mean,
that's- think it's
when
cool.
Trey gets a love interest with music, and I mean this sincerely, I'm sorry that like you guys are so heteronormative, you shook. But my point is, like when Trey gets a musical love interest like that, like he has a musical love right now with Desron Douglas going on, and it's really
Yeah.
fun to watch on stage.
Or like he had with Dave.
Right?
I
like,
think Dez is on a different level though than TC. I like TC and I like Taper's Choice. I like Vampire
oh,
Weekend.
100%.
But Dez
Desron Douglas has been
is
playing what he's been
on an
playing way before
entirely
Cal.
different
Right.
musical level than them. He's like
Yeah,
he's on Trey's world. Like at
Yeah.
least that, you know what I mean?
But I'm just saying, like when I love it when he gets a love interest.
Oh,
Can't
we
we
should
let our
get through
boy be
this
Polly?
into this.
Can our boy
second
be
set
Polly in
soon.
his love and his
Nah.
need for music?
What did they open the second set with?
They opened it with
Funky
slow llama, slow
Yeah.
llama.
slow,
not llama.
No,
Very strong.
slow llama.
It's a
Not a fan.
slow
Llama belongs to the so fast that your neck hurts after because you've been bobbing your head
No.
so much.
No,
That-
for one thing, we have to take you home now, old timer. So who the hell wants to rub a bunch of preparation H on your back on a Saturday night because you
Not
wanted
me.
to go hard?
Not me.
Oh man,
Look,
he's
it's
got it.
right there. Do you know why? Because I'm 43 and I'm like, better grab that ibuprofen though. And
Yeah, 51.
shout
Wait,
out
give
to-
it 8 years. Give it 8
Yo,
years.
shout out to the homie Sunday from the free table. She sent me a pack of those hydration because I was with
Oh,
her hanging out
nice.
at a festival, and she sent me those hydration packs. I've been having one every
Yeah,
morning.
They're
Oh
awesome.
my god. Ugh.
A
I
plus.
was
good.
doing them at MSG and also drinking amino acids for bodybuilders after the show.
Yes.
Like to
So you were
replenish
That
doing
doesn't
steroids?
explain
Okay,
why your
check.
take on llama is so terrible. Because
Yeah.
slow llama, in fact, is an incredible version of llama, and this was a very good version of it. I agree.
It
You
was a
need the fast
really
one
good
still, but
version of
I
it. It was a
love that
mature
slow
version
llama.
of it. It was a version of Llama that was wearing hublots, lighting cigars, and talking about how you suck. I mean,
And,
It-
and I
but in a
loved it
very
the whole
polite way.
time. I was just like, yes, do that. Okay, let's
Yeah.
just dance to
yes,
this.
it had pep. It did have a little bit of pep
It
to
had
it
pep.
too.
A little pep in its
Yeah.
step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really. I heard a lot of people calling it a kind of medium llama or something like that. Like it did have one more step to it, I think, than some of the other slower llamas in the
Yes.
past, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
the one in Philly
Again,
was
how
on
much
on China
fun.
White. The one,
It-
the last one I caught was in
Mm.
Philly. Like all that same run where you got that Martian and
Yep.
that weird Martian night, and it was definitely on heroin that night. It was like, you know what I mean? It was
And
like,
Yeah,
I think it's settling into where it should be, though. I think they
Taboo.
exaggerated the tempo reduction as an experiment to see what would happen if they played it at halftime. And then they found the groove and the funk to it. And then like, okay,
It's the
it
Dead Company
lives
version.
here. This is where it needs to be.
Yo,
No,
he
it's
said
not.
the
It's
Dead
not the
Company
Denico version at all. It's actually the opposite.
Yo.
What Denico do is pull 30
that's
ticks off a song
vicious.
because I can't play it.
Look how mad Wook is because he's getting old. Went, this is great. You didn't tell me this dynamic was going
Fired
on.
him
That these
up.
kids,
Fired
they
him
don't know
up.
they're getting old yet. This is so awesome. He's like, it's not Dead Company, bro. It's just the same amount of money in the same venue. 2 weeks later.
Well,
I'm talking
It's
about
totally
slow.
different act.
I'm talking about slow llama though.
well, and it's purposeful tempo change. I mean, there is a difference.
That's what I mean.
between...
It found where it's supposed
Yeah.
to be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's a
it's fun.
totally big difference between tempo change because I am right at a
We're
point
sorry
that I
that
just
Trey
can't.
didn't grow up to be Frank Zappa for you. We know all you and the old timers were pulling for it, but it didn't pan out, man. He had kids and got off
Wait, you
drugs. I'm
talking to
sorry.
Kev?
Yes, I think.
Yeah,
that's a
I'm
Kev
talking to
term.
Kev.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and then the
sorry
Slow
it wasn't your
Planet.
Zappa, bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell
No, but they'll
you.
still play a fast llama. I feel like this is just a version of it that they pull out every once in a while.
I love it.
More often than not now.
I don't know. I wish we had a producer that was
I
backstage
think we're all just
looking that
avoiding
shit
talking
up.
about how much Wook loves Soul Planet.
Yeah,
It was a great jam. It was a great jam.
It's always a great jam. A lot of their songs,
Yo,
like
I love
Set
how
Your Soul
soft
Free.
it takes the more subscribers you get. Yo, you're getting soft, bro. You getting real soft out
No,
here.
it seems like all these new songs, they all have these great jams on the end because there ain't nothing else to the song. Who fucking Set Your Soul Free? Just get to the jam. Everything's
man.
right, great. Everything's
Yeah,
right.
but
Let's
Set
get
Your
the
Soul
jam.
Free and Soul Planet,
Wow.
though, the songs are short. Where I feel that is with Mercury, because you have to go through like 8 minutes.
8 rooms
Whoa.
per million.
Whoa, Mercury and Soul Planet.
Come on.
No, it was a cool.
R.I.P.
Honestly,
just
though, it
wanna
was
say-
a great set. It was
I
a really
just
good
want to
set.
say at 10:01 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Friday, May 27th, I agreed with Went. And I don't know if that'll happen again. Mark it on your calendars.
Yes, I'll put
Soul
that in the
Planet,
notebook.
Soul Planet is a song where it was like, I remember I was at that New Year's run and I was like, I knew it was coming. I just had a feeling. I was like, he's going to play all his fucking shit he wants to play. Let's do it. And so I like prepared my heart and like had a good time. But halfway through, I was like, God damn, this is a long Soul Planet. This Soul Planet is so long.
But it's
And
good,
it just-
though. It's good.
Yeah, and it depends on, and it can go 40 minutes, right? It can go more into that 30-minute range. This one is right at the like 23
Now,
minutes.
was it 20
thought
minutes?
this one
Did
was
they
nice.
really do? Did they
Well,
do quadraphonic
was it
couplings or not?
No, of course not. The last time they said it wasn't. I mean, you can't just say the words of a song and it be the song. Now, I think the party time conversation from a couple years ago is different because I think that was close enough to party time to me. But like just saying the words quadraphonic topplings is not. I mean that is the song on an album. Like you can go and listen to quadraphonic topplings right now on a studio record, and it should sound relatively like that. You can't just say the words, right? And so if Live Fish kind of cut.
Have you been paying attention to politics?
You can say what you want.
You absolutely can say whatever you want and make it
Well,
what you want.
Live Fish cut up the track. So Kev's argument is there's always this conversation of like the 20-minute jam, right? And it really kind of cuts at quadraphonic topplings at like 19 minutes and 45 seconds or some bullshit. And then it's quadraphonic toppling. So if From the Road and Live Fish puts it in there, then it's going to not be a 20-minute jam. It's going to be like 1950, then quadro for like literally 2 minutes,
30 seconds,
right? And then it's not quadro. It's again him just randomly saying it and yodeling. Quadraphonic yodeling is what I call it.
It was such a cool moment, though, outside of our
fun.
nerdism.
Yeah,
No, like I feel like if we didn't get caught up in the set list and what Live Fish said, and we were just there absorbing the music and the
fun.
creativeness of it, it's a cool
Oh,
thing
when
for
I'm
them
there,
to
when I'm
Easter
there,
egg
I have
and
a
do.
totally different take. You guys, I watch your show sometimes and from the hotel, and I'm like, those fucking guys know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Because when you're there, it just feels different. The bass hits your fucking like hits you in the
Exactly.
loins, and you're like,
Yeah.
But
There's
you
all
know,
kinds of new
it's
samples.
I was
another
such a
thing-
what did I say that on the show? You know,
the quadraphonic topplings that they did at Big Cypress doesn't sound like the album either. I mean, what the fuck is the song?
Yes.
It's whenever they say it over music.
apparently.
Right, that's what it is.
Apparently. But there was
That's
a
what it
new
is.
there was some new samples, I think, from either I
A
don't
lot of
think
cool sample.
there was
use,
some
I thought.
shipwreck. It sounded like shipwreck. I also thought, and there's a little section that sounds just like the Eugene Ruby Waves, where it gets very Pink Floydy.
Yes.
And so
Wow.
like there's really some fun moments in this jam. And to me, if you want the Soul Planet to get over, this is about the right amount of time, right? Like that 40-minute one that folks love in 21, I was like, please get over. You know, I was like, it's just too long and it just wasn't going anywhere to me, where this one had some really fun moments. Yeah.
It was like being constipated. I just kept waiting for it to go come,
Wow.
and it never did.
Wow.
Everybody, it's
Wow.
not for
We tried to give the
everybody.
song life and let it go free.
But
Nice.
then we got the fucking winner of
yes,
the fish
champion
bracket,
Ghost, and once again, showing why it's
the champion.
the champion. I thought this was another same as MSG, another phenomenal Ghost.
I
Very
love Ghost.
strong.
I love it.
Yeah,
Hooked
it's a
up to
cool
a
groove.
machine, man. Had some machiney sounds. Had that like Dixie, like kind of catapult sounds where it's kind of that,
solid Ghost.
yeah,
It was
Are
solid.
you
It
not a
was
fan
a
of
little
Ghost,
pedestrian,
Lenny?
but it was solid. Yeah.
I mean, Ghost has it has a high bar, right? I mean, there's some songs where
Yeah.
you go like, if it's a good Ghost, you go, well, okay, like a Ghost should
I hear a
be
lot of
the
Ghosts.
song.
I hear a lot of Ghosts live. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah,
for me,
sure.
it's got to like do something.
Feral Ghost.
I got to hear a feral Ghost. I got to hear a Ghost that makes some kid run, like some kid who's like, "Oh man, I finally got on the rail because the new system," and then the lights hit him and he runs. Like I need one of those Ghosts so I can slip right into his fucking spot and be like, "You don't know, man. You think that list is gonna save you?"
Oh man, that is the best. Like that's the best minute of talking I've heard in like a long time. By the way, got to the rail for the new system and then ran because of the Ghost hit him. I love that.
But the
love that.
Sense and Subtle Sounds was fun. I really like that. I love that.
Yeah,
song.
that's fun.
A+. Nailed the intro, right? So again, I think it was definitely practiced, although then he does get a little flubby in the actual moments, some moments of the lyrics. It had this
And
like
the guitar part too, in the main sense.
Yeah.
You get flubs.
it had this little country
we had
riff.
Mike Flub tonight too, because I had a
Yeah.
Mike Dyke
First night.
texted me and was like, "Mike Flub the words." I was like, "Is Mike there?"
The segue into that sense though was really cool. Right.
Real good.
Yeah.
It was cool the
Yeah.
way they kind of broke it down and then he set it up. All night I thought the segues were pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought
So-
Mike was on fire. I thought Paige was on fire. I don't know what happened to Fishman at the end, but I want it to happen again.
Yeah,
Like he was
possessed.
just screaming and channeling some creature. It was definitely not human.
He was
and I was
feral.
into it.
I was listening to
Feral is
89. I was listening to 89 on
man.
Jump Radio
Wait, we gotta
tonight.
get you on the dictionary like email list. So you get one word a day. You'll be like chilling.
And I was wondering how like it would compare to listening to Fishman now in particular, because he's so much older. And I feel like with such a physical instrument, that's where I would hear it the most. But he was still just as fluid and maybe smoother, right? Like he did silly shit in 89. Like he was all over the place, like just like a madman. But he is so butter on the kit still. Like I don't know how he does it after playing for 40 years.
8 hours a day practicing, like
Yeah,
they
but
say
like
he does.
Bill, I love Bill, right? But he can't. Well, he can never move like Fish, but he's had to step back a bit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Right.
Fish isn't as old as
Well,
Bill.
poor Bill got straddled down with that Mickey guy all those years. So.
Wow. It really
Yes.
wasn't Mickey. It was more his father. So
Yeah, exactly. Taking all their Skrilla. And then it goes into that Chalk Dust Torture, which our guy Mike here mentions. We were talking segues, right? And this one maybe wasn't the smoothest of the night.
It was a Trey left turn. It was, oh, hey, let's play this one.
it's like Scent and Subtle Sounds car accident. It's all.
All right.
Basically, you're smelling the oil and the burnt rubber from.
I think. Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think? A lot of that is honestly, even though I was just trashing it, I honestly think it's the new rail system. I think it's them seeing new faces and seeing people react to some of the shit they're doing for the first time, and not the same 300 people having the same reactions, wearing the same same 7 glitter outfits in rotation. I know because
The
they're my
same
friends
color
and I love
hair.
them.
No,
Like I
the
love
one
them
dude-
all, but like
the one
we
dude
love
up
it's
there-
okay. Like I'll just say there was a moment where I saw a guy up front. He did not belong there.
The guy
And
with
I
the
was
shirt,
so happy for him.
the guy
I
with
was
the
so
shirt that
happy for
said,
like you could tell he had like a local t-shirt and like and like his hair, like he didn't know he was gonna be on a broadcast just by his haircut or the way, like you know what I mean? You could but
He didn't
like
sign up for that.
he didn't sign up for that shit. But he like wandered in And like he's like, you know, 1 or 2 people back. And
He
he's
went in
having the
early to
time
take a
of his
piss and ended
fucking
up on the
life.
rail.
I love
Yeah,
it. Look, I love
that's
seeing
great.
that.
I agree
And I'm
100%.
someone who
Was it the
who
guy-
always goes to the rail every show. And
it
I
the
would
guy with the
gladly
shirt?
give up my spot to see some local guy.
Lenny,
having
take
the
me to
time
the
of his
fucking
fucking life
rail,
like that.
man.
You know?
I've been to a few shows and I've never made it to the rail. I rarely even am up in the pit, honestly.
You
But
got up there for Hershey last year, pretty
kind of. I was still
Right.
15, 20 people
Well, you gotta
back.
eat your Wheaties to come down there.
We should
gentlemen.
probably
You
try
gotta-
the
you know,
Lenny
you gotta-
way. Not
You actually got to
there was-
stretch, drink some water, not do drugs, not drink. You know, maybe
There was a
dance
guy-
little bit. Then
All
do
right,
it.
guy
I'm
with,
good. I'm out. I'm good. I'll be back by the soundboard.
Or you can go
guys
the other
see
route,
me.
or you could go the other route and you could double up. I'm just
No, it just
No,
seems
I'm
like
just
a lot
saying,
of
like,
work, and
it's a
like you
workout.
got to
It's a
dedicate your
workout down
day.
there.
No, but
It's a
even
workout.
going to this show, even before you're in this show, you have to dedicate hours of your day to get there. Whereas I'm more like hang out with the crew, dude.
Not
you know.
anymore. Now you just go on the Google form. And
Well, I know.
you're next
Now
to
I
that
might
guy
try
I was
it.
talking about.
a
And it
whole
was
new
pretty
world.
fucking rad.
All right,
But
so
this
then
chalk
the
dust is
standard and
nasty.
chalk dust.
No, this chalk dust though gets kind of bananas. It has little tweezers.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. See, I wasn't the only
teases.
one. I thought that
Ri-
I was like, is that me or is that the edible? No,
that was definitely
there.
happening.
Uh-huh.
Just I wrote down like went to the back 40, man, just lost in oblivion, got kind of metal for a second. So they did kind of what they've been doing, which is ending chalk dust kind of normally, then playing the jam. This time they played the regular song pretty much all the way through, then jam, then brought the song back again, which was interesting. And it wasn't like the chalk dust reprise, right? Which I was getting ready for. I was like, that'd be cool. That's actually be perfect right now. But they just kind of ended chalk dust again. And then Loving Cup. Which,
I feel like they've been playing chalk dust faster in 4.0 than it used to be.
For the
That's
protection
interesting.
of my life, I won't say anything about Loving Cup. I'm going to mute myself for a little bit.
that's right.
I think we can move on
Loving
into
Cup
the
shade.
encore.
Oh, right on by. Loving Cup.
Move on to the encore.
Damn.
We don't need to talk about the Loving Cup. It's
That
fine.
is just Keith Richards
Well,
himself
the
just
encore
rolling
there
around
wasn't
in
much
his
to the
never
encore.
grave.
Wasn't much to the encore either.
Yeah.
Whoa. I love Waste. Who doesn't love Waste? I
The
love
same
Waste.
Well, wait a
Like
minute.
Shade.
Sounds like someone's defending a wedding song. Sounds like someone has to answer for these comments in a few minutes.
It is my wedding song, obviously.
Of course. I have a daughter named
Obvious.
Piper. It's like the
Obvious.
most cliche thing. You have to
Obvious.
name your daughter
Obvious.
Piper.
I
You
know.
have to have
Yes,
Waste
I
at
know
your
it's a
wedding.
mostly white show. We're moving on from that. What I'm saying-
That's how you can definitely know for sure.
It's
Well,
worse
Loving
than
Cup
that,
was a
though.
good
It's-
Loving Cup. All that shit I talked on Twitter, and I still
It
ended up
was-
dancing to it for like 3 minutes.
It did go off a little at the end.
It went off for a little bit.
It
It's
did
just
have
a
some
little
fun.
bit like you know what it reminds me of? It's Bobby. It's Saturday night, and guess what they're gonna play?
Yeah, I mean,
Guess
Santos,
what
you
they're
mean?
gonna play?
Santos is almost like that too. And I kind of joked that the way Trey was talking, he was like, "See you guys, good night." I was like, he knows that wasn't the encore, right? Even though it probably could have been.
It was
should
for
have
him.
been. He's like,
He was gonna go back to the same Lazarus pit that fucking Keith Richards is in.
correct. Where which I hope he does. Let's go for that, right? So we can be touring in like 2060. Sounds amazing.
Who? Trey or Keith Richards?
Keith
All of them.
Richards.
Let's all stay alive.
Oh,
I'm
God.
down for it.
I'm gonna
Pump
mute
Keith
myself.
up with
I'm
some
gonna mute myself
embalming
for the
fluid.
protection of the brand.
And that's Santos.
Santos.
Santos was fire. Good save.
Yeah. Santos.
It was
is
all
fun.
right. It's all right.
It's
Don't you think?
white
I
lights.
love Santos.
I think it was a good Santos. I think this was a good after show. It's about twice what we wanted to do, but I think that
Right.
was awesome.
That's all right. And tomorrow night
You're
we'll
not
be
a
back
Santos
with,
fan, Went?
Huh?
You're not a Santos fan, Went?
No, he doesn't. Yeah, we're Santos fans.
We'll
No,
be
you're
back tomorrow night with your Fish DJ, Miss Amanda. So make sure you check that out.
And
10
every
minutes
night,
after the
10
encore.
minutes after the encore. I like that, Kev. I was always trying to figure out the time. Kev's just like 10 minutes after encore. Fuck it, it's good. Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Lenny. We love you.
See ya.
Oh,
Hang out for a minute, Lenny.